It was a quiet Sunday afternoon, and I finally had the house to myself. After a long work week filled with deadlines and errands, I was looking forward to just relaxing and spending time doing something I hadn't done in a while, playing my old acoustic guitar. It had been sitting in the corner of the living room, a bit dusty but still in decent shape. Music had always been an outlet for me, and strumming those strings reminded me of simpler days. I sat cross-legged on the couch, plucking a familiar melody, my fingers finding their rhythm again after so long. My golden retriever, Max, laid lazily beside me, his tail thumping occasionally against the floor whenever I hit a high note he liked. As I got more into the song, I started humming along, completely absorbed. I didn't hear the front door open or the sound of light footsteps making their way through the hallway. Without any warning, my nephew, Lucas, suddenly walked into the living room. I jumped slightly startled. My fingers hit the wrong chord, and the melody came to an abrupt stop. "Lucas," I said, setting the guitar down gently. "You scared me. What are you doing here?" Lucas, who had just turned 19, gave me an awkward smile. He stood there, backpack slung over one shoulder, his sneakers a little muddy. "Sorry, Aunt Rachel," he said. "Mom dropped me off. She said you knew I was coming." I blinked for a moment, trying to recall any conversation I'd had with my sister, Diane. Then it hit me. I did agree to watch Lucas for the weekend while she and her husband took a short anniversary trip to Lake Tahoe. I'd totally forgotten to mark it on the calendar. "Oh my gosh," I said, getting up from the couch. "You're right. I completely forgot. Come in, come in. Let me take that bag." Lucas walked in, looking around the house as if he hadn't been there in years, even though he used to visit all the time when he was younger. He set the backpack down near the stairs and gave Max a few affectionate pats on the head. The dog perked up, clearly remembering him. "I didn't mean to interrupt your playing," Lucas said, motioning toward the guitar. "No worries," I replied. "Just messing around with some old songs. I haven't played in months, honestly." He sat on the arm of the recliner and looked at me thoughtfully. "You're really good. I used to love hearing you play when I was a kid." That made me smile. "Thanks. I didn't know you remembered." "Of course," he said. "You used to sing that Beatles song every night I slept over." We both laughed, the memory bridging the years between his childhood and now. He had grown taller than me now, with a deeper voice and the beginnings of stubble on his chin, but he still had that familiar warmth in his eyes. I led him to the kitchen to get something to eat. "So, how long are you staying again?" I asked, pulling out some snacks from the pantry. "Just until Monday morning. Mom and Dad will pick me up on their way back," he replied, grabbing an apple from the bowl on the table. "I've got some homework to do, but I thought it'd be cool to hang out, maybe go for a hike tomorrow or something." "That sounds good. I know a few trails nearby that Max will love, too," I said, tossing him a bottle of water. The rest of the evening passed in a comfortable rhythm. We watched a movie, ordered pizza, and talked about everything from music to college plans. Lucas had just finished his first semester at a community college nearby and was trying to figure out if he wanted to transfer to a bigger school next year. I was proud of him. He'd always been bright and creative, even if a little shy. Later that night, after Lucas had gone upstairs to settle into the guest room, I stayed up a little longer, strumming the guitar again. There was something therapeutic about it. The chords filled a quiet house, and I let myself drift into the melodies, letting go of stress and deadlines and simply being present. It had been too long since I'd let myself just exist like this. Suddenly, I heard footsteps on the stairs again. Lucas appeared at the edge of the living room, his hair slightly messy from lying on the pillow. "Sorry," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the music." "Did it keep you up?" I asked, setting the guitar down. "No, actually. I liked it. It reminded me of when I was a kid." "Can you play a little more?" he asked, almost sheepishly. I chuckled. "Of course. Take a seat." He sat down across from me, and I picked up the guitar again. I started playing a softer tune, one I had written myself years ago but never shared. The notes floated between us, and Lucas closed his eyes for a moment, soaking in the sound. "You should record something," he said when I finished. "Like, seriously, Your voice and guitar playing, it's calming. People would listen. I smiled. Maybe one day. Right now, it's just for me. There was a short silence before he said, I'm glad I came here this weekend. Me too, I replied, genuinely. Over the next 2 days, Lucas and I spent more time together than we had in years. We hiked, we cooked breakfast together, and we even went to a local bookstore where we picked out a novel to read aloud, alternating chapters. It was unexpected, but refreshing. I had always cared for him deeply, and it felt good to reconnect on a more grown-up level. On Sunday night, I found Lucas back in the living room, trying to learn a few chords on the guitar. I walked over and sat next to him, adjusting his fingers slightly on the strings. There, I said. That's a G chord. You'll get it with a little practice. I wish I'd learned earlier, he said, strumming clumsily. You make it look easy. Well, that's what a good teacher's for, I said, nudging his shoulder.
He grinned.
Then I'm in good hands. By the time Diane came to pick him up Monday morning, Lucas had learned how to play a simple tune, and I promised to send him a list of songs to practice. As he hugged me goodbye, he whispered, Thanks for the music and everything else. After he left, the house felt quiet again. I sat back down with my guitar, smiling as I picked out the chords of that same old Beatles song.